Good morning, warriors. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry, I heard something. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I wanted to talk about something that's really key to the way that I believe software should be built, and that is transparency. There is not enough of this stuff happening in the application development world out there, and I hate it. I really, really hate it. Okay, so let's first define what I mean by transparency because it means different things to different people. For me, it's about software being a black box process, right? So what happens is someone talks to a development team, then they go away and in the light, in the dark, somewhere else, they build the software and you don't know how it happens. You don't know what those processes are. It's all black box to you, and then you get the result out. Now, black box processes are great sometimes, but in software development, it's a really bad thing. We need transparency in our work to allow for the people who are actually dictating what work comes to us um, to make the right decisions. Let me give you an example. If I can't um, estimate relatively closely how much work a particular piece of functionality is in terms of hours, then I'm really, one, not trying hard enough. Two, too scared to give a number because I think that people will think it's accurate. Or number three, and this is the one that I'm really worried about, I feel like if I give people that number, then I am going to be held accountable to that number, and that could be a problem for me. It takes the power away from me. And I've seen that in development teams way too often, and it's really, really annoying. Um, Another good example is let's look at those estimations over time, over 6 months, for example, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, and think about, well, what was the actual number of hours versus what was the estimate number of hours? If I can't publish that sort of number to my clients or to the corporation I work for, then also, what is the point of me being around, right? What is the point of me actually adding to the corporate culture? Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Transparency is got to be part and parcel of software development purely because software development is just way too complex for us to try to hold cards close to our chest, right? So um, let me talk about another one. This is actually transparency on the user's end, and also just as important. I've come across way too many options, way too many times where I've talked to a leader or a manager, and not the same thing, believe me. And they've said, "Listen, I won't give you access to my people, but you can ask me any questions." That forever is a alarm bell for me. In fact, in my master services agreement for soft solutions, I actually have a line that says I need to have access to who I need to have access to, right? And you need to sign off on that before we even start working together. So you can see how important it is for me. And the reason for that is this, guys. Um, Agile especially will shine a light on the problems in the organization. And sometimes a manager tries to distinguish that light, right? Because they're worried that it reflects badly on them. What they don't realize is that if we fix that problem, yes, we shine the light on it, but we fix it, it's actually a bigger win than it would have been that of the problem of identifying it in the first place, right? Um, I can't remember who it was that said it, but what did the line go like? It was something that came up in one of my readings recently. Um, Bring me a. That's right. That's right. That's right. It was something like this. If you make a mistake and don't tell me, I'll fire you. If you make a mistake and tell me, I'll commend you. Right. And so this is the sort of culture we need to build because mistakes are going to happen. We're only human. Most of us are anyway. Um, and some of us will have feel like we need to hide that mistake. I've done it in the past, very early on in my career. Um, I've made some really big mistakes, but hey, you've got to let it go up the chain so people can evaluate and make a decision. Transparency is key to any software development. If you don't have that sort of culture, guys, um, take steps today to get to that point. Okay, it's going to be a slow, hard road, but you need to get there. If you don't have transparency, you're gonna struggle. Okay, it's simple. And if you think you're not struggling but you still don't have transparency, you're spending way too much money. Okay, there's always some sort of counterbalance to it, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, that's it. Transparency, software, impeccable, needs to be there. Okay, imperative, actually, not impeccable. Really imperative. Thanks, guys. Catch you next week. Until then, stay focused.